Phil and Ted's Sexy Boomer Show. I'm Ted Bonnet.
And by the process of elimination, I must be Phil Proctor.
Did you just eliminate?
It's comforting to know that at least here I know who I am.
It's so nice to be here, and I hope we're not contemptible today.
Why would we be contemptible?
I'm just talking about New York.
Contemplative, maybe.
Yeah, I'll take contemplative.
What do you mean New York? We're not in New York.
The Trump trial.
Oh,
Gag me with an order.
He was cited for contempt, $9,000 in fines, and threatened with incarceration.
That's right.
Well, I'm helping him out. I sent another $25 in to the
MAGA
the
money?
fund. Yeah, MAGA money.
Yeah, good.
MAGA bucks.
MAGA bucks.
I print them up myself, and I say, go.
That's the only way to do it.
Go Big T and send them in.
Wow.
Our guests today are also two contemplative people. Are my dear, and they're dear friends of mine, Jamie Alcroft and Sarah Kawahara, and they are a couple of really great, interesting people. I can say that for sure. So we're gonna be talking to them on a variety of subjects, from comedy to ice skating. Shall we describe who everybody is?
Sure.
All right.
Talk about yourself first.
No,
Who are
I'm
you?
not exactly sure anymore.
Do you know we have well over 50 shows now on the podcast site?
It's amazing. It only took us, 3 years?
And a pandemic.
And a pandemic.
Yeah.
And Jamie's been on our show before, Jamie Alcroft.
Yeah.
I have been.
Yeah.
So I should know what I'm doing.
You've been comic relief. Well, part of the fun of live radio is you don't know what you're doing, and it doesn't matter.
I know it's better.
Now, your wife, Sarah, this is your first time on this show, Sarah.
It is my first time.
And you have a remarkable history as an ice choreographer.
And 2-time Emmy Award winner.
That's right, for doing extraordinary, amazing ice choreography to open the
2002 Olympics in Salt Lake City, the Winter Olympics. You choreographed the opening
and closing ceremonies.
And the closing ceremonies.
Yeah.
I watched the opening ceremony on YouTube last night.
That's so nice of you to do that.
Oh, I thought it was the least I could do. The magnitude of that production is
staggering. There's
nothing much bigger than an Olympics when it comes to prestige and international awareness. It's a real time capsule because it was winter of 2002. So it was just months after 9/11. And I kind of forgot that because of the amount of time that's passed. And I thought, George Bush came out, the president came out, Mitt Romney, and I have to hand it to Mittens. That was his greatest triumph, I think, was making the Olympics happen.
Yes, it was such controversy before, and they were so worried about it, and then 9/11 hit, and that made it even...
Yeah, one of the most corrupt Olympics, apparently.
Yes, and he straightened it out and got it on the straight and narrow, so...
he did do that.
Yeah, we were... felt lucky. We felt lucky to be able to do our production, and, it was... I worked with over 1,000 skaters, and I stripped the community of anybody that can skate forwards, and quickly learned that the most important question to ask was, can you stop? Not can you do a rocker or a counter or an axel or skate backwards. That was not important. The domino effect was important.
It did cross my mind when I was watching all these performers. One of the first performers that came out were in what looked like streamers, like, I don't know
They were turbulence. They were wind.
Oh, that's right, fighting back the elements, right?
Yes, yeah.
And they came out so beautifully. Like
they were speed skaters.
Yeah.
Who do not stop. Speed skaters do not stop. So when I had them in rehearsals, they said, you do know that we do not stop. I said, well, you have to stop eventually. He said, well, that's what those boards are for. Oh. And so they asked for helmets because in costume-wise, we did not have them in helmets, but I talked to the costume designer and said, look, just put them in helmets and dress it over it. Get those little tassels flying on.
Yeah.
You'll never know they have a helmet on underneath, but they will feel secure. And then we had 4 entrances that were 50 feet long, and they would skate. I choreographed them so they would, skate on and skate off, so they never had to stop.
First of all, I was thinking, where's Sarah during this performance, and how intense was it for you to finally see it happen live? Here it goes.
It was amazing. I was supposed to be up in the booth way up high in the Rice Eccles Stadium. But for that opening production number, I really wanted to be on the floor. So I got to sit with my husband in the middle, center, and it was just super because I was a part of it.
Yeah, you were there.
You know, I a part of the audience and could feel the effect because, we'd be in pre-production meetings and they say, and now this is when the Child of Light is going to pass his light and it's going to go all the way up the sides of the stadium as the skaters walk up the sides on the stairs. And everybody in the audience had prompts and they were directed previously to light up their flashlights at a certain point. And so it was really neat to be part of it because it really happened just like they said it would.
It was beautiful. It worked really well. Now, I was thinking, were these Olympic speed skaters?
They were speed skaters that didn't make the Olympics. That's what they were. But Bonnie Blair, she carried the torch. Was one of the torchbearers at the time. But and Dave Jansen. But they were not in the actual production. But it was wonderful to meet people from all walks of life within the skating community. I mean, I used hockey skaters. I used drywallers.
What's a drywaller?
A drywaller is a guy who works on, or a girl, who works on top of very tall stilts. They're 5-foot tall stilts, which are taller than dance stilts, which are 3 feet tall.
Ooh.
So, but we wanted these huge crones, winter crones, to be part of the forest that this Child of Light was going through, and so we needed drywallers, and we spiked the bottoms of their stilts, and they walked
so they walk
on the ice,
Wow.
and the cameraman went in between, and
That camera the camera work was astounding on the kid. I mean, how they tracked everything. And
it was really exciting.
how much rehearsal went into that?
Oh, a lot of rehearsal.
How many weeks?
We started November 2nd,
Wow.
and this opened on the 8th of February.
Whoa, yeah.
Not opened, it was a one-off. It was the opening ceremony.
it,
If you want to see this, it's really worthwhile. Just because, again, it's this picture of time. It was just after 9/11. It was a very heavy time, as we know, and it was very interesting to see how the Olympics had to address that. I thought it was done tastefully, very tastefully, and also I spent a lot of time up there, and Utah and Salt Lake City, for all its weirdnesses, is one of the most interesting places for work ethic and attitude and community mindedness. I have to say, there's so much credit to offer to that culture, to that city. It kind of felt good to see Utah really in its prime. Now it's grown to a big city. It's now unaffordable. At that time, there was still a middle class in Salt Lake City. You could get a house for $150,000. It was a throwback to the way America was. It did put Utah on the map.
But is that
It changed everything.
There's more men and less women there? More mun. Thank you. Thank you very much.
He's here all hour, folks.
So, Jamie,
where did you come from?
You're a comedian.
Yeah, so they say.
You've been funny all your life.
That's what I've heard.
Because it helped you to survive.
That's correct.
Right? You spent your family moved to England at one point.
When I was in 7th grade. Nobody else in my family was in 7th grade.
At that time?
But I was in 7th grade, yes.
And your dad was a golf pro? You were the Yank in the middle of all of these Brits.
Right.
Right? And how is it how would you survive all of the, the teasing and the bullying and all
Just
that
on
stuff?
that. I did.
Yeah, you did that.
I started doing impressions of the teachers, of the masters. I got the crap kicked out of me every day for the first 3 weeks of school because the Brits just didn't forgive us for World War II. They were.
I thought it was 1776.
Yes, no, not the
Not the Revolutionary?
World War II.
Really?
Because the GIs behaved so terribly over there.
They did.
Yes, they left babies over there. They left wives. They left. Yeah, and so that bitterness was still there. This was 1960.
Yeah.
So it's really only 15
Fresh.
years after the war.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That's right.
fresh. And I would have, sons of RAF captains come up to me and say, "You bloody Yanks, you shoot off your mouths like you shoot off your missiles." Boom!
Ooh,
And
wow.
they cold cocked me. Because I had a crew cut and I was the Yank. But the only way I survived was to do impressions of the teachers. and especially Mr. Fletcher, who was my French teacher, and he was a West Ender, so he dropped his R's. He was a bright, veiny, big rascal, don't get me wrong, but he dropped his R's, so I learned French with a West End accent. Right? Jacques à la flipping bibliothèque avec Monsieur Dupont de la bloody voiture as well. Right?
Did your humor flourish at this point when you were under duress? Was that your defense mechanism?
Oh, yeah.
Because I
never got beat up after that because I was a funny boy, and I became head boy, which meant I was able to appoint options. So I appointed all foreign options. We basically had a foreign coup of the school that had been founded by Edward II in 1552.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some continuity.
That's England for you.
We had Jamaicans, we had Nigerians, we had Argentinians. My best friend was an Argentinian, and I was the Yank. I was the head boy. And we went and we turned in our canes. We were given bamboo switches, which we were supposed to whip the boys with.
Yeah.
And some of the boys have been caught sleeping together in the dorms. Well, they've been living together since they were 5.
Yeah.
And the dorms are cold. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
And they were brought to me.
More spooning in the UK.
Spooning.
It's been a theme through a few shows now.
You're right, just like at Yale University when you guys used to spoon. But it was survival for them, and I was supposed to whip them. So we bundled up our canes, we turned them into Headmaster Brown's office, and they have been there ever since.
Wow.
Yep. You know, it's interesting how childhood trauma, whether it's an illness or something like an upheaval, will be so formative for some people in their later life. I was uprooted from New York in 5th grade.
Uh-huh.
Down to Delaware, which to me was the deep South. Of course, it wasn't, but it was below the Mason-Dixon line. And I had a pretty regular life in the New York suburbs, and then I was suddenly transported down there. And the first day I got there, I was the first day of school, and I went to the school bus stop, and everybody was super, super, almost unusually nice. And then when the bus showed up, they all laughed. They were putting me on. Yeah. And this horrible behavior started. My sister was chased by a mob of 60 kids.
Jeez.
And ran for her life at her first football game within a week of moving there. We're like, where did we just come to? But my whole survival.
What position was she playing?
Well, but the point is that my defense mechanism to survive was to be the class clown because there weren't too many people too quick, and and Mad Magazine, and,
Mad Magazine,
and that
set you on fire.
It set me on fire and also protected me and saved me. And when I came back to New York, it definitely set the tone in not all great ways, for the rest of my life. But it's interesting. I think we were almost the same age.
I got out of a tough spot in New York. I was going to a ritzy school, Alan Stevenson School, and I had a book bag and a little jacket with the Alan Stevenson logo on it.
No, you wuss.
Yeah, and I was living on East 94th Street, which was near Spanish Harlem and on 96 and whatever. And I ran into a gang one day coming back from school, and they were telling me, let's get his book bag, and so I started talking to them the same way they was talking to me, and said, I got to go to this stupid school. Look what they like me wear. Look at this. You want it? You want a jacket? You want? And everybody got them laughing, and then see you guys around. Off I went. And then I threw up.
Yeah, and I threw up. Well, the trick would have been to throw up on them. Yeah. Because that's a great form of nonviolent self-defense.
Henry Jaglin once was is a director friend of mine.
Who's been on the show twice.
He's been on the show a couple of times. And he ran into a gang in New York, and he threw an epileptic fit.
Yeah,
okay?
Right.
And started,
sure.
That scared him right off.
I was in Halifax, Nova Scotia one night, and two guys tried to mug me, and I turned into a Russian, an irate Russian. I just said, and they ran.
Too crazy.
They ran.
Crazy. Yeah.
I was on the Lower East Side, and I was doing my New York stride, trying to get down to the East Village.
Yep.
And I ended
Brisk
up.
walk.
I realized I was walking right into a gang. Yeah. Across the street from the Hells Angels headquarters. And it was about 7 guys, and they were obviously doing business, and they noticed me, and they all fixed on me. Mm-hmm. And I knew that if I turned around, I was, a gazelle. Yeah. If I walked through, I could get cut down. So it was one of those New York moments where, okay, I've got about 5 strides, I'm in the middle of this, what am I going to do? So I searched out the leader, casually, made eye contact with him in a way of saying, I'm just walking through.
And you blew him a kiss.
And I kept walking, and I looked like a cop. That helped. And I saw his index finger point downwards. He went, just like that quietly, and everybody just went, and just as I strolled by, I didn't say hello.
Sarah, what about you? You ever been mugged in an ice rink?
Yeah, Sarah, do you have any
ice skating rink?
No, I haven't been mugged in an ice rink or ever in life. I've been really lucky.
Never skated on thin ice.
Oh, well, always on thin ice. Right?
Always.
And you grew up in Canada?
I grew up in Toronto.
In Toronto.
Yeah, born in Montreal, raised in Toronto. Yeah, and I auditioned for the Ice Capades when I was 17, fresh out of high school, and I got a spot. I got a solo, so I was a nobody. I wasn't a champion, but I was an artistic skater. I was somebody a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I left. I left Toronto, and I didn't even go to my graduation. I just went to the Ice Capades to rehearsals in New Haven, Connecticut, and then Atlantic City.
Yeah,
City for 8
And
weeks.
you became a showgirl.
And I became a showgirl.
Well, so seems to be the Canadian thing. I have family up there. It's like the boys have to be hockey players, so the girls are ice skaters.
Yes, it's popular up there.
Yeah.
And the parents toboggan.
No, they're drivers. The parents are drivers.
Hey?
No, the parents are drivers.
Now, how did you become this power couple?
Well, when Peggy Fleming saw Mac and Jamie.
Well, I have to say that she was late for my rehearsal by half an hour, and we were rehearsing all through the night. So I was waiting for her at Laurel Canyon Ice Rink when there used to be an ice rink there.
Oh, yeah?
Which is now a Trader Joe's.
Yes, really? It's true.
Yeah, with terrible
it's true, which
parking.
we lived down the street from.
Yeah.
But, so we would rehearse through the night, but she was supposed to be with me at 11 o'clock, and I waited and waited. It was 11:30. She comes strolling in, and with her manager, Lee Mims, and they were laughing and saying, oh, gosh, you just would never believe it. We just came from the Comedy Store and saw a great, great comedy team called Mac and Jamie.
No kidding.
And that's why she was late to my rehearsal, and she fell in love with them and wanted them for her Harris Lake Tahoe nightclub show. And
Now, Peggy Fleming did a nightclub ice show.
It was an ice show, but it was a headliner show. Like, when you'd go see Shirley MacLaine or Juliet Prowse, or you went to see Peggy Fleming, An Evening on Ice. So it was an ice show, a production show with a guest star, and the guest stars were Mac and Jamie.
Mm-hmm. That we walked out every night in patent leather pumps with spikes on them.
So you wouldn't slip?
Because we got the patent leather pumps at S&M formal wear, of course, because they had spikes on the bottom of them. And
was that kind of a turn on? Is that kind of why?
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you know what the turn on was? Is when Peggy Fleming left the show. She skated the show for about 4 weeks or 5 weeks.
5-week run.
5 weeks. And then she decided she didn't want to skate 2 shows a night, 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
Why not?
And because her career, she'd kind of peaked, and so she left the show. And the only one who could skate her part was the one who taught it to her. So Sarah joined the show as the star. So now it was Evening on Ice, and Sarah was the star, and we were the guest stars. And I stood in the wings every night, and I watched this young lady skate to a song called Rodrigo. And it was just a Spanish guitar in the corner, a fellow playing Spanish guitar with her skating in the spotlight.
How romantic.
I lost it. I found my heart and lost my heart all in the same moment. It was just amazing. About 2 weeks into the run, I finally got nerve up to ask her out after the show.
I thought it was opening night. You asked me out.
Was it opening night?
Yeah, we walked.
She's got a better memory than me.
To a bar that had chicken wings, and he's a vegetarian.
And so I had the mushrooms.
Yeah,
because I'm a fun guy.
Like that,
Mushroom, fun guy.
Yeah. It was pretty quick.
We're talking to Jamie
just fell in
Alcroft
love.
and
We just
Sarah
fell in
Kawahara, and a lovely couple who have 3 lovely children who I've had the pleasure of meeting. And one of your children is fairly well known, Hayley Kiyoko, who is
She's our
a
pop
superstar.
a
She's
pop
our
star.
pop
She's a
star.
pop star.
Fairly well known.
She graciously gave one of her books and signed it. Is this a new book? Or?
It's a new book. It was number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list.
No kidding. Girls Like Girls. One girl learns to accept the love she fears the most. You must be so proud of her. She's
It's very exciting to see her grow,
Yeah.
to watch her grow up, and to see her, fly.
Yeah, well, Jamie tells a funny story about that, too. Now, you are obviously very, very gifted and very, very talented in many ways. And the thing that sets you apart from others is you have a vision for every show that you do. And you're now doing shows for the Royal Caribbean Line, ice shows for the ships. And you have, how many, 11 shows out there now on the high seas?
Well, we have 16 shows on 13 ships.
Oh,
Wow,
my-
including the new one,
Icon of the Seas. We have two new shows there.
Is it the biggest ever?
Yes,
It's
the
this
largest ever.
massive cruise
It's
ship.
like a city.
It's a
floating
cruise.
city.
Floating city.
It's a cruise for people who don't want to get away. Yeah. If you miss the sensation of Best Buy on Black Friday, this is the cruise for you.
Yeah, from a distance, it looks a little
Intimidating.
a little intimidating,
A little top-heavy?
It's an interesting thing. I mean,
It's just a whole different experience because you have your normal life of getting up and going to the cafe and going, having lunch somewhere, or you have all these options. You can go to Central Park. It's like going to a city in itself, a destination in itself. But then, of course, it has all these interesting ports, and then you can get off and you go to the port. So you have both worlds.
I see.
You really do. You really do.
You have Central Park on it. That's how
We have
big this ship is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Central Park.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite places to go is the Central Park.
They pipe in birds.
Really?
There's trees. And you sit there in this lovely garden
Landscaped,
and
it's
have
gorgeous,
breakfast.
and it's two towers. There's two towers of buildings with
13 stories.
How many people on this
13
boat?
stories high.
How many people on the ship?
8,000 people on the ship.
8,000
Yeah.
People on a ship.
Yeah. 2,000
Well, it's the
crew,
largest one.
6,000.
Okay, so
Passengers.
and on this ship, I think there are 3 stages, 3 shows, right?
Oh,
there's
more.
there's
No,
more
I
than
mean,
that.
I'm sorry, big shows. I mean,
Yeah, there's a theater of which there's usually 2 shows, and then there's an aqua theater which there's usually 2 shows, and the ice show has 2 shows.
And you have a comedy room.
And there's a comedy room, a
Because Mac and Jamie,
nightclub.
you guys were on the ships cruising around.
Well, we
with
were there
your
back
family
in the
for-
day when they headlined. We headlined.
You headlined.
Yeah,
Sure. How many
we'd be
years?
in the big room for 10 years.
10 years.
now Mac and
amazing.
Jamie,
We-
you had a television show on
Yeah, for 2
CBS.
years.
We had a TV series. No, it was syndicated.
Oh,
It was
syndicated.
syndicated strip shows. The first comedy strip show of its kind. We shot 6 shows a week. We did 125 episodes.
Unbelievable.
We launched Jan Hooks and Kevin Pollak, and we gave Rick Overton and Paul Reiser and Sinbad and Ellen DeGeneres their first television exposure. And it was fun. It was 1984. We were having our friends on the show to do stand-up, and we were doing sketches.
Now, was this before you met Sarah?
No,
we had-
we were.
Oh,
we had
you
a
were already
child.
together.
Both of you each have fairly intense careers.
Intense, yes.
And completely different. I mean, it's both show business, but that's about as close as it gets. And then it requires remarkable amount of commitment. I mean, doing a TV show, I imagine you're there all the time. And when you're literally away on a ship.
Well, in those
well,
days,
she wasn't then.
I was
not
doing
then.
the ice capades in those days.
But you were traveling with them.
And I was traveling, but
How did you
it was
manage it?
kind of tag team your it a little
Yeah.
bit, and also we had to move our wedding date 3 times, 3 times because they got the comedy break, and the dates kept moving, as you know they do. So yeah.
All right, so you're raising 3 children, and you're
First
both.
of all, how did you have children?
On the ice.
It was long distance. You know?
How did you manage raising 3 kids who are lovely, by the way?
Two girls and a boy.
Yep, and successful.
They're wonderful
So,
kids.
you
And
did
talented.
you did good. But the question is, how did you do that when
We
you
have
were
no idea.
Well, we took them with us.
And we took them with us.
We
yeah.
took them with us wherever we went. So they went to Europe when I did Holiday on Ice, and they went down to Florida when I did Disney on Ice, and we really moved them with us. They were in.
That's wonderful.
When they were young, they were in grade school, and we just took them out, and we made sure that they kept up with their work. But
you can do that in grade school.
You
Yeah.
can.
And they
I
had
don't know
great
that people do
experiences.
that today, but
Yeah.
in the 80s you could do it.
Oh, we did it with our child, but even in middle school, but certainly not high school. That is when
Right.
they have a life. And
We go
you
Europe
can't-
for
Yeah.
4 months. This is an education.
Oh boy.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Were you able to go with Sarah and be
Yeah.
sort of the parent with
Yeah, we
Sarah,
juggled it.
vice
I was-
versa?
Yeah.
I was
So-
touring with Diana Ross for 6 years, so it was between Mac and Jamie's schedule with her, and then we started doing a lot of corporate dates. But those were one-offs. Those were just one-nighters.
Yeah.
So
And
those
then
were pretty easy.
You would be mom.
Yeah, it was a 5-ball juggle all the time, pretty
I
much.
bet.
But it was a tag team you're it kind of thing. But Jamie, I could not have had the career I've had without Jamie's support. I mean, absolutely.
It's so rare, I think. Maybe it isn't rare, but it sounds rare. You don't hear stories about that kind of busyness, and not only surviving the relationship of having that kind of a constancy, but also to raise 3 good kids.
That's right.
That's. I mean, just doing that alone.
We feel very lucky.
Yeah.
Every day we feel very
and we
lucky.
have a grandchild now. Which is
Oh man! So I know Hayley, for example. I don't know as much about your other 2 children, but I do, or young adults. But Hayley, I obviously know more about. I've seen her perform.
well, she's got a publicist.
Yeah.
The other 2 don't.
You know, I was so struck when I met her about how down to earth she is. I mean, she's just not.
She was sedated.
She was she was not affected. She was remarkably composed for somebody experienced such success at her age. I thought that was obviously a testament to your parenting.
Yeah,
but
she's very grounded.
Very funny story though about how she knew.
She
right?
knew
I mean,
when
she
she
must
was
have.
young.
She knew when she was a little kid.
Was she the kid, the baby?
Yeah.
All right. So
She was the
No.
middle.
She was the middle. So she obviously observed your careers and
Oh, yeah.
got a bug for it.
Well,
This
and the
is
kids got
the
to-
point I was working at.
The kids got to play backstage at Ice Capade.
There you go.
With all the big head figures and the costumes. And then when she did Disney on Ice, one of her most fabulous shows was Anastasia. Oh my God! What a job she did with that show, and
I
the
forgot
kids
that I
sang
forgot all
the
about
songs
that.
and
Get that
and
joke.
and then when she did Pocahontas, the kids sang the songs and they were backstage and it was just.
But when you asked your kids what they wanted to do when they grew up,
Oh yeah, when
This
they
is
were
the
all
story.
3 of them were in the back seat
Of a car.
and I said to
How
my
old are they now?
Elise was probably 12, and Hayley was 9, and Thatcher was 7.
Mm-hmm.
And they were in the back seat, and I said, "What do you want to do when you grow up, Thatcher?" He said, "I want to design video games. I want to make video games." And I said, "Oh, that's a good thing." I said, "What about you, Elise, our eldest?" She said, "I think I want to be an art teacher. I think I want to be an art teacher."
and she is a gifted artist.
And she's a wonderful artist, yes. And I said to Hayley, "What do you want to be when you grow up, Hayley?" She said, "I'm going to be a star, Dad." It was just the semantics of it. No messing around.
I'm gonna be a star.
Well, I think
She is.
and that's what it takes.
And then when she was 12, she was writing songs, and we got her a 4-track. And then she was producing songs on her 4-track between a guitar and a piano. And we thought, oh, my
She
God.
had the stuff.
This girl's got something.
Yeah.
So I took 3/4 of the garage. I left enough room for my Alpha Duetto, 1966 Alpha Duetto. There was enough room in the garage for that. But the rest of the garage, we built a soundproof music studio. We built a soundproof studio for her because
What
the
a
neighbors...
dad.
We lived in a cul-de-sac in Westlake Village, and the neighbors would say, "Boy, that Hayley, she sure likes practicing her drums, doesn't she? Boy, that girl is always on her drums, isn't she? Gee, she never lets up on those drums, Jamie. That's just, so can we offer to get her flute lessons? Could we, maybe a piccolo, something, an ocarina, ocarina." Yeah. So I got the hint, and we did a soundproof thing for her, and she just started working in her studio every day, writing music, posting it on her MySpace, and creating. She
Yeah.
just started creating, and then her first video, Girls Like Boys Do," it's got 180 million views or something now. It's crazy.
Wow. You're listening to Phil and Ted's Sexy Boomer Show, heard every Tuesday, 1 o'clock here on KPFK and on our podcast, sexyboomershow.com. You can't miss it.
Can't miss it. Be there.
Yeah, be there. And our guests today are the lovely couple, Sarah Kawahara. Am I saying that correctly?
No.
Kawahara.
Kawahara, as in hair.
Kawahara, where the wind comes
So-
through.
And then Kawahara.
So you're Canadian, Japanese?
Yes, Japanese Canadian, but I'm American citizen now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So did your family come over from Japan to Canada?
I'm third generation. My parents were both born in in Canada, sorry.
Oh, wow.
North America.
So they were here through the World Wars.
Yes, they got evacuated inland and they went to camp. And
Were they treated better in Canada than they would have been here during World War II?
I
think a little bit. They were still isolated.
Yeah.
They were still isolated, but yes,
They
I
didn't
think so.
Well, they lived in
fleece them of all their belongings. And
No.
And
no.
Yeah, they took the house.
They did take the house?
Yeah.
And you didn't get it? Wow.
Yeah, but they got reparation.
They did.
Was many years later.
Yeah.
And her
To the
father
family.
was CEO of Tech Toothbrush, TEK.
Oh.
Founded
No
that.
wonder your teeth look so nice.
And because you were isolated, you became a skater.
Oh, that's right.
Ouch.
Get
Yeah.
the Zamboni. Run the Zamboni over him.
Jamie, you're also a brilliant silversmith.
Oh, thank you.
And you were living in Key West.
I was.
And your clients included Paul Lynde, which is, I love that story.
And Jill St. John and Valerie Perrine.
Wow. Now, this was before you all met? or
Yes, before we met.
Okay. And
This was Jamie's early life.
yeah.
My early days.
had
We don't talk about that.
Several different lives.
And Jimmy Buffett, you knew Jimmy?
Knew Jimmy? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he was coming up when we were coming up. I mean, he was playing, at Maynard's and the Half Shell Raw Bar, and we were playing Green Street Theater, and Mac, and I was doing, before Mac and Jamie, I was doing single stand-up at the Pier House in Key West every Friday and Saturday night.
And were you doing a radio show, too, at that time?
And yeah, I was on the radio. I was the morning guy. And so I would interview Jimmy, but in the afternoon. Because I never had people in the morning. That was so ridiculous. I'd interview him in the afternoon and then play it the next morning as if he was there. Thanks for getting up. I really appreciate you being here. Really. We'd just milk it. And anybody I had on the show, we'd record them in the afternoon.
Boy,
And just to
Because
remind,
6 a.m. is just a little too early for
to remind
Key West.
our listeners who may not have heard our other conversations with Jamie, Mac heard you on the radio.
Right.
And that's how he got in touch.
comedy
He
partner.
saw me do
Yeah.
stand-up at the Pier House. He's heard me on the radio. I got off the air one day, and there was a note that said, "You must be one of the funniest men in Key West. I'm the other one." And so I got together with him, and what it would be? It was about 8 months later we did our first Tonight Show.
Wow,
Isn't
in
that
8 months.
amazing?
We moved
Wow.
to New York. No, it was a full year. It was a full year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was September to September. Yeah.
It was a fool year.
With Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
In New York?
No, here.
It was in L.A. at this
Yeah,
point.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And that must have just blown you out and just, that was it, right? That was the Holy Grail.
That was the Holy Grail. Yeah, we got our TV series from that.
And you bookings
Solid
for-
Gold. We were the comedians on Solid Gold for a year. Took over for Jeff Altman, and Marty Cohen had been comedians on there. And Jeff's down in Asheville now. He was a very funny man.
Yeah, well, Jeff
And-
was
gosh.
on the Starland Vocal Band summer show.
That's right.
With Procter and Bergman and David Letterman.
That's right.
Right.
And Starland Vocal Band used to work at the Cellar Door, and I used to hang out with Ron Maranian, the Armenian comedian, at the Cellar Door.
Right.
And I talked Taffy Danoff into releasing Afternoon Delight as a single.
And that's what made
They
their
refused. She said, "I can't. You know what it's about? It's about doing it in the afternoon. We can't have it." I said, "Hey, come on! It's the '70s.
Yeah.
Now's the time. We'll never be more progressive than this."
And speaking of the Cellar Door, I am actually going to be flying back to Washington, D.C. to host a fundraiser.
At the Cellar Door?
No, the Cellar Door is gone. It's a coffee shop now.
Oh, but then don't do it at the Cellar Door.
Yeah.
No. But the Cellar Door is sponsoring these musical evenings to raise money for indigent musicians. In other words, every musician.
Every musician.
That exists.
Yeah.
And I'll be hosting a whole lineup of wonderful contemporary performers.
Oh, great.
Who'll be doing like covers for the folks who are no longer with us. Because everybody played the Cellar Door.
And so many people are no longer with us.
Yeah. Procter
Yeah.
and Bergman.
Everybody
Bergman's gone.
played the Cellar Door.
Everybody played. Anyway,
Hey, here's another thing. If this wasn't enough, Jamie's a Tin Man.
Yeah.
He's known as the Tin Man because
That's his book, too,
he's
by the
a
way.
double organ recipient. Right?
Well, yeah, I tell you, raising 3 kids and living with this gal,
Well, you said
it takes a toll.
You said you gave your heart away.
I gave my heart away, obviously. No, I came down with congestive heart failure in 2016, and heart disease runs in my family, and so I didn't know what to do, and I called my doctor, and he said, "You need a new heart." It was down to 7% function. Oof. And so I went into Cedars, and I lay there in bed for 3 months and waited for them to find me one. And they did. Thank God there are donors out there and people who have the compassion during their life to commit to giving life
and that's
upon
what
their death.
You're devoting your so much
I devote
of your
a lot of time to that. Yeah,
to encouraging people to become
I'm an ambassador
donors.
for One Legacy. I like to encourage people to become donors. I started a thing at the Comedy Magic Club, first Thursdays. It's no longer with us, but I mean,
was
the
a
Comedy
good
Magic
run.
Club
It was a
is,
good
but it was a
run.
good run. Ran for a year, and we offered donors free admission on the first Thursday of every month.
You
So all
waited
they
in a
had to do was
hospital for months.
3.
3 months.
3 months you were in the hospital, calling all his friends or people he knew who had motorcycles on rainy
That's
days.
right. He said, "Come
Come
on
on
over."
down.
Right.
And don't wear a helmet.
But Jamie, actually, you were at an age at that time when you should not have been a what is the word?
Dual.
Candidate.
Right.
A dual
transplant
Well, my heart
candidate.
had beat up on my liver. My heart problems had been going on for a while, and apparently the symbiotic relationship with the heart and the liver. He said, "You have heart-induced cirrhosis." I said, "You mean I could have drank more?"
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
But so I was 68 or
7.
67. I was
Yeah.
67,
And the line was
and the
65.
cutoff was 65.
Yeah.
And they told me that. And that night I got online. I found out that the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic had a cutoff of 70. Mm-hmm. So when they came in the next morning, I said, "Listen, send my records to the Mayo and the Cleveland because I'm going to either one of those places." And they said, "Well, don't leave so soon because we have a committee meeting on Friday that'll judge your case." And so they have this committee that meets once a month that decides on cases like mine. And they made their first exception ever.
Beat the Reaper.
And because I had been lighthearted and funny, I was in the Norman Cousins School of Dying. I decided that if I was going to go out, I was going to go out laughing.
What's the Norman Cousins School of Dying?
Everybody else with me. It's
Well, he
when
was
you laugh.
He was
when you-
recovering
through
from
laughter.
a serious illness, and he watched Marx Brothers movies
And recovered.
and it
Or delayed his death,
it,
certainly.
but
Tell-
And
For
they've shown
the
that
audience,
optimism.
Norman Cousins, who
well, he's not related to me. He's but
No.
he was a famous comedian.
Oh, okay.
Writer, really.
He was a writer.
comic
wasn't
writer.
a comedian. He came down with cancer, and to beat the cancer, he just took vitamin C and watched Marx Brothers movies
he
And-
wrote a book called Anatomy of an Illness.
of an illness. Yes.
Yeah. About this.
Yeah. Now I didn't read that, and I didn't base my recovery on that.
You were naturally funny.
I just naturally took the frame of mind that I didn't know whether the face I was looking at might be the last face I ever saw.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was fully aware that my heart was at 7%. I didn't know whether it was the last face I'd ever see. So I wanted to make sure it was smiling or laughing or having a pleasant experience, and that I had a pleasant experience along with it. And so they made, Sarah can tell you, they made an exception for me.
Yes, and he did about 5 to 7 shows a day because he loves an audience, and it's a teaching hospital, Cedars-Sinai.
But you
so
weren't
there was
doing-
always a group of people that would come in.
Right, but you weren't doing stand-up. You were doing lie-down.
I was doing live.
But you were working the room
I
nonetheless.
Yeah.
was working the
You were
room.
working that room, man.
Boy, I was.
Well, but that's a lesson to learn, especially as we get to our point in life, where you can make a decision. My grandmother taught me, she was German. She taught me the basic common sense things. And she would say, first of all, when people say how you're doing, say you're doing well, because no one wants to hear your problems.
No.
And she said, and if you have your health and you have your sensibility about you, then it's your choice to be a happy person. Now, of course, that kind of underestimates chemical depression, but that's a health issue. But if you don't have that, it's really a conscious choice to make your way through life happy. And I just saw an article, I think in the New York Times or one of them this week, that there's now statistical evidence to support that people who have an optimistic viewpoint have a longer lifespan.
That's right. That's right.
And it's, common sense, but, it's nice to see the numbers work out that way. So
Comic sense.
And look at all the studies between gut health and brain health. A lot of studies now between what you eat is what you think. How you behave is based upon what you're putting into your gut. 70%
of serotonin, it comes from your gut, which is, the happy
stuff.
The happy stuff.
Yep.
That's something that's important.
Yeah, very important.
It's
and I wrote the book, The Tin Man Diaries.
That's right. You wrote,
and The Tin Man Diaries has been reviewed on Amazon as being a very funny way to look at dying.
I lost a friend just today. It's almost a regular occurrence now. That's and
I lost a friend a couple of weeks ago.
It's just that's where we're at in life. You do have to sort of protect your well-being and work towards that. That has probably been instrumental in your relationship.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting. When he was waiting for that heart, and then we went through the heart transplant. It took 12 hours, and there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to make it. Absolutely, not a single doubt.
It must have been frightening for the kids, and just
it was, because now when we reminisce, they talk about when they thought that they might lose him, what was rolling around in their mind. But I never thought ever, not once.
But then again, you can ask the logical question: what's the point?
What's the point? You have no control.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I taught my kids, and that helped them through that. And that was always that if you don't have control over something, let it go.
Let it go.
And if you have control over it, do something about it.
But the fact is that your kids took control at a time when you had your massive heart attack, and that saved your life. Didn't it?
No.
When you were on a plane and had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yes, and I wasn't there.
And Sarah wasn't there.
I was on a different plane.
And I had the 3 kids with me.
Yeah.
And I just stayed awake through. It was a widowmaker heart attack.
Wow.
And I stayed awake through the whole thing because I knew if I ever closed my eyes, I was going to die. And I had my kids with me, and I couldn't. So
Elise was 18, so she was legal age.
She took charge.
She took charge, but Hayley is the numbers gal. She can look at. She's got a photographic memory, so she anything that related to time and day and logistics, that was Hayley. And then Thatcher, he was like 9, so he was
sitting next to me.
Yeah, he was in charge of all the carry-ons, which there were many. They had at least 2 per person.
Did they divert the flight?
Yes.
Yes, to Portland. Well, it was interesting. I was lying on the floor of the galley. That little rubber mat that smells like
nice
tennis shoes and coffee.
That makes you want to check out.
It was kind of like smelling salts. Kept me going. But I was laying on the floor, and she said, "Is there a doctor on board?" There was no doctor, but there was a paramedic. So this guy Andre came up, and he was my paramedic, and he was trying to make me feel comfortable. And over the intercom, we could hear the pilot say, "Well, I can have us in San Francisco in about 45 minutes." And we heard this, and the paramedic said, "This guy is going to make it 45 minutes."
Wow.
So I just yelled with the last breath in my body, "Portland!"
Wow.
And the pilot heard Portland. He said, "I can be in Portland in about 7 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a medical emergency on board, please." And he was on the speaker like that. Boom, and everybody's going, "Oh, Jesus.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks a lot for dying. Thanks for almost dying." So they got him in the hospital, but the airline took care of the kids. They put him, Alaska Airlines, God bless them. They took care of the kids, put them in a cab, and then the cab took them to a doctor's residence across from the hospital, Providence, Portland. And they put him up in an apartment in the doctor's residence.
That's wonderful.
And Elise, my eldest, was running around the apartment, apparently. I heard this afterwards. Running around, checking all the closets and everything. And she's to Hayley, who's sitting there watching TV already. Hayley's just watching TV. And Elise says, "Hayley, what are you doing? You go help me look around."
They're
and make
watching
sure
General
nobody
Hospital.
Right. She said, "Relax, Elise. I found the knife drawer." So she knew where the knives were. She wasn't worried. And it's just, the difference between people and children. It's just
the book you wrote, The Tin Man Diaries,
Yes.
A Sudden Change of Heart, Loosely Told Facts of Tightly Held Truths, published in 2019.
Wow. Was it really?
Yeah.
Great,
And
funny
so
read.
this is your story.
Yeah,
And
it's a story.
worthwhile. You can get it on Amazon. And
It's a full $9.99, I think.
$10.99.
Oh, it's $10.99
That's
now.
inflation for you.
Boy. Well, yeah.
But and the value of that is to inspire people, I suppose,
and help them through. I've had many. I have a friend, Susie Nicholson, at the hospital, and she's a volunteer, and she crochets these fabulous little red hearts for people who are waiting for a heart.
Oh.
And she gives you these little red hearts, and she would come visit me every Saturday, and it was just a wonderful relationship.
So you guys going to retire?
Oh, gosh. I don't know if I can afford to retire yet. It's also hard to let go.
You know,
Something
I
that
gotta-
you've done all your
I mean,
life. that
Yeah,
you
I got to
love
say
do.
something about your art also. You are challenged by every show that you do, and the ones that I've had the pleasure of seeing, you use projections, you use magic, it's extraordinary what you do to bring these shows to life in a unique way, telling a story every time. The last show you did, you were asked to do a show about the elements.
About
right?
the periodic table.
The periodic table.
And that's, a dry subject. Now, how do we make
How
this
do you
thing-
make that
It's
into a great
skating
show?
gold.
Next year they're doing infectious diseases. on us.
But it was brilliant what you did.
Now,
with
do
it.
you?
Oh, thank
So
you.
somebody writes the show and then you interpret it, or do
No,
you
we
write?
write it.
You
We
write it as well.
With the producers, I write. With Willie Bitek and Sylvia Frozier, my producers, we write the show together. And then, of course, it has to be sent back to Royal Caribbean for approval. And Nick Weir, the entertainment director, he is the end of the line for us, and but it was a passion project for him because he has a daughter who is very into science, and so he wanted to do this show for her, and so we did the show for him. And it all worked out because I got to do the most abstract but most wonderful production number of my career, I would say, where you take liquid metals, and I have a juggler who has these balls that come out of the ceiling and they light up, and the balls are silver, gold, bronze, and copper. And then he rolls them on the ice through the mist, and then the projection melts the balls into liquid metal, and then we have a projection screen that goes the entire width of the arena, and in 3D it becomes in relief, and then I bring on my skaters who are in very abstract clothing, costuming, where they are melted gold and silver and bronze and copper,
Noble
and
metals.
then they meld together, and then I have a breakaway. And I reveal two stunningly beautiful gold pair team.
Wow.
So that's really exciting for me.
And another
too.
one, she takes all these skaters that are carbon, and when she's doing the carbon section, and they come together and they squeeze and they squeeze, and their lights and a big diamond
Nice.
comes
Yeah,
out of
from
the
carbon,
center
there's
of it. A
diamond,
woman
yeah.
doll dressed in diamonds, and then she skates her solos.
And this show was done for the Icon of the Sea.
This is on
Correct.
the Maiden Voyage.
Yes,
right?
it's called Starburst.
And how
wonderful.
how long do these shows run typically?
45 minutes.
No, I mean,
Forever. No.
She has
Forever.
Tell about the cast.
I have shows that are on cast 43. I mean, that's
Cast number
and we change the
43.
cast every 6 months.
Wow.
So with each new cast and each new generation, as time goes by, they are reborn. The shows are reborn, and I, as an artistic director of BTEC Productions, I oversee the quality of it, and we're really very proud of keeping it fresh and bringing this caliber of skating to. And it also includes variety, which is you don't get to see variety fantasy so much on the ice anymore. It's usually head-to-head competition.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is, or it's Disney on Ice. So it's nice to be able to grow this other area where you can be
Artistic.
fantastical and theatrical and musically it's very diverse. So I enjoy it.
Dramatic and comedic. It's wonderful.
Just amazing shows.
And
amazing shows.
It sounds like you're kind of going through what I'm going in my audio world right now. The technology is so extravagant, and the possibilities are so great. You don't want to quit, because I would imagine all this LED technology and the computational power and the three-dimensional effects that you can create and the lighting and the sound. I imagine it's like.
Yeah,
it's really hard, right?
It's really amazing because with Royal Caribbean, they are on the cutting edge of all the most current technologies.
They really are.
So what's next? Poseidon Adventure?
No, I tell you what, though, on the skating costumes, they have little sensors, so there are no follow spot operators
It's
anymore.
called black tracks. There are no more spotlights.
Spotlights follow the skaters.
The cameras pick up the cameras pick up where the locations of the skaters are and track the speed, and then there are lights that coordinate with it.
Yeah, so she can have skaters with trails going. She has one skater that skates through the universe.
He's a comet.
He's a comet,
He
and
pulls
there's a
a comet.
comet trail.
How fun!
Yeah.
It's so
Pulls the trail
kind of a limitless palette now.
Yeah.
So you have something in the works? You're hatching?
Oh yes. Well, in the future, I hope to do the Star of the Seas, which is the next big
Icon.
Star of the Sea.
Oh, you think in terms of the ship?
Yeah.
In terms of concept, though.
In terms of concept, well, I'm always dreaming, and so
Did they come to you and say, Sarah, do you have can you come up with an idea?
Sometimes, yeah, it's a collaborative. It's a collaborative relationship.
And also, you must be able to ask for a design of the skating rink so that you can do what you do. I know you had some problems with the icon of the sea.
Well, we went from a rectangular design to a oval design.
Okay.
And so and a much higher ceiling. So it's more like a stadium.
Well,
How
we
exciting.
skated through this hour, didn't we? Man, I can't believe it's over
Go to
already.
YouTube and look up the Sarah Kawahara numbers.
Yeah, go to YouTube, look for the Olympics.
There's one. Michelle Kwan skates to Fields of Gold, and it's one of the most beautiful numbers Sarah's ever done. I think.
Wow.
You'll be amply rewarded. And Girls Like Girls by Hayley Kiyoko is available now, and you'll learn even more about their amazing daughter and
our lives together.
their lives together.
Well,
Thank
Sarah
you, guys.
Kawahara,
Thank you.
Jamie Alcroft, couple of the year. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you so
on the
much for
Sexy
having
Boomer
us.
Show.
It
Thanks
was
for
really
having
fun.
us.
I'm Ted Bonnet.
I'm Phil Proctor, and we'll be back again next week, God willing.
Okay.
See
I want
ya.
a divorce.